What's good, y'all? It's your boy Ross back at again with another video. So we're going to check out 10 most infamous WWE crowd plants. Now, for those who don't know, wrestling has always had like crowd plants. And what a crowd plant is basically someone that is pre-planned to be in a specific spot and to sell this interaction with a wrestler. Now, sometimes the interaction gets physical. Can't do that with a real fan that, paid money to be there, because the real fan may want to actually sue. So they'll have a plant that's there to make it seem like that's a real fan. And if there is some physical altercation there, then guess what? Then it sells the idea that the wrestler went really rogue. Sometimes they actually have wrestlers or independent wrestlers as crowd plants. They do the same thing with the security. Usually those are just wrestlers in the business that, trying to, get their name inside WWE. So it's a similar situation with some of these fans that are not really fans. They're just plants. But appreciate all love, support. Let's get right into this one, man.
WWE superstar. Oh, yeah, kid. Take a hike, Bob. Yes, he doesn't like.
Pro wrestling terminology describes a planted fan as a person who's been placed in the audience for a specific role during a show. Oftentimes, it's to provide exaggerated reactions when a match spills into the crowd, while other times, it's to allow a heel wrestler to attack a fan for heat without the worry of facing legal action. It's a storytelling technique that WWE has relied upon for much of its existence, and many such occurrences have gone down in history for all the wrong reasons. Join us now as WrestleLabia looks at 10 of the most infamous WWE crowd plants. Number 10, hey DX, suck these. Full frontal nudity isn't exactly a common sight in WWE, though it was certainly less than rare to see more skin than you bargained for during the Attitude Era, with Jacqueline and, well, regrettably Mae Young amongst those who have bared it all. It was also during this era that D-Generation X were at the peak of their adolescence, as it began drawing the ire of the female audience, many of whom were all too happy to indulge in the group in the most vivid fantasies.
Crazy,
on one occasion during the July 20th...
Just a time period that we'll never go back to and probably shouldn't go back to, but that is just insane that this is what we were seeing on our television. Hence, this was one of the reasons why my mom did not want me watching wrestling.
1998 Raw, a blonde fan held up a sign that simply read, "Hey DX, suck these," with two arrows pointing down to, her top. She lifted her top up, but not content with that, Triple H gestured back for her to reveal more of herself, and the woman certainly obliged, with a bare chest exposed for the world to see, acting as a perfect summary for the Attitude Era. Her fans have since convinced themselves that she was a plant hired to flash her goods for a sweet paycheck, a rumor that received further evidence in 2025 as she actually resurfaced in the crowd at WrestlePalooza, decked out in ESPN-branded merchandise. This time, though, she kept herself fully clothed. Number 9, Triple H wants to see...
That makes sense. I didn't even realize that. That's crazy. And then it said ESPN 316. Yeah, that definitely gives Plants vibe because she had Austin 316,
more. Sticking with the Attitude Era and indeed sticking with the game, because before he had married Stephanie McMahon and he was still romantically linked to China, Triple H was horned up to the maxes. He constantly signaled to female members of the audience to reveal themselves to him, and as we've already touched upon, and come September 1998, another blonde made all his dreams come true. After tagging with X-Pac and the New Age Outlaws in a winning effort over Kai and Tai in the main event of Raw's September 12, 1998 episode, Triple H spotted a female fan in the crowd wearing black leather trousers that was embroidered with the DX logo on the rear. He gestured towards her, and she reciprocated, revealing her bare bottom. As if this wasn't yet another perfect summarization for the Attitude Era, Jerry Lawler on commentary was hollering Yahoo as if he was a horny Mario.
Yahoo! Yup. Once again, different time in wrestling. We can never go back to it, nor should we. But man, this is why my mom didn't want me watching. Yahoo!
Number 8, Bronson Reed yeets a fan. Now, although the word yeet was revived in 2023 as a new catchphrase for Jey Uso, it was Bronson Reed who found inspiration in its other meaning the following year, as he used a supposed fan like a torpedo to take down Braun Strowman. A chaotic incident occurred during a well-received brawl between the two on the September 16, 2024 Raw. Reed was thrown out to ringside and he had to think fast for a solution when the Monster Among Men charged right towards him. But this is when he grabbed a fan out of the front row and launched him straight at Strowman, who managed to catch him successfully and avoid adding another broken body to the pile. In storyline, Bronson was fined an undisclosed sum of money for his actions. Speaking to Chris Van Vliet about the incident, Reed explained his thinking as to why his spot went viral as opposed to anything else he and Braun Strowman did to each other. Yeah, he had a Yeet shirt on. I mean, I didn't expect that one to be as viral as it is. That actually got the most views out of everything from the most recent match we did. I thought maybe going through the wall would be more viral, but it was getting hit with a fan getting thrown. I think because people just aren't expecting it. Again, yeah, you know, he's doing his train thing, and then out of nowhere, you just see some guy coming to the screen. Number 7, finding out where the...
And there's nothing wrong with using a plant, especially if it does enhance moments like that. That's a funny moment that nobody's really expecting a fan, a person that's not in the match to be yeeted wearing a yeet shirt into another individual. That's gold right there. So there's nothing wrong with having plants when they're utilized in ways like that that ultimately can enhance the match. That was great.
Big boys play. A fan storming into the ring during a live wrestling event is unfortunately nothing new, but you need to have the balls of steel to do so during a steel cage match between Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper, which is precisely why WCW hired a plant to do the job instead. Yes, technically this is WCW, but when are we ever going to talk about this again? The Hulkster and the Hot Rod closed out the 1997 Halloween Havoc pay-per-view with a certified dud of a steel cage match, and despite winning the match with a sleeper hold, it was Piper who was beaten down after the match at the hands of Hogan and Randy Savage. Cue the fan whose face was covered by a sting mask to scale the cage, be immediately mauled by a security guard, and subsequently eat the fist of a former Mega Powers who ended the night in a confusing and drawn-out assault of this random intruder. Unlike other instances of fans rushing the ring, there was never any doubt about whether or not this one was a work. WCW's shoddy production crew had a camera waiting to film the fans' interference.
Yeah. And then they didn't even take him out of there immediately, because a lot of times, the wrestlers are going to get in their real punches and kicks and beat the crap out of you while the referees and agents or whoever, security, is going to escort you out of there quickly. They took their time. That's how you can, they're not going to take their time beating down a fan. No, they're going to get you out of there, but you're going to get the help that you need on the way out, if you understand that reference.
Before he'd even jumped the barrier. Number 6, Natalya packs a slap. The WWE enforces such strict rules against its superstars that it would be impossible in the modern age for them to devise a spot where a planted fan was slapped across the face. Even shoving the plants out of your face is known to send Triple H into a frenzy. This is why WWE's various working relationships have been so successful. They allow wrestlers who have only ever known the in-house WWE style to wrestle somewhere where the rules are a little bit more relaxed. Such was the case when Natalya ventured to the NWA in May of 2025. After unsuccessfully challenging Kenzie Page for the company's World Women's Championship, Natty shut down an antagonizing front row fan with a stern slap to the jaw. And though discussion quickly flooded social media about the reality of the situation, it quickly emerged that the fan was indeed a plant. In true wrestling fashion, a photo of the two posing together was shared on social media after, because nothing shocking can happen in pro wrestling anymore without the suspension of disbelief being instantly burst.
Yeah, it would have been cool if he was able to keep a little bit of kayfabe alive in that situation. Well, even if people know, oh, it was a plant, it would have been cool to know, oh, yeah, they didn't take a picture together. You know what I'm saying?
Number 5, Serena's straight edge initiation. There were countless examples of legendary WWE figures that made their televised debut as a planted fan in the audience, with Earthquake, Beth Phoenix, and Steve Blackman among them. But while they all achieved some kind of success in WWE, the same couldn't be said about Serena Deeb. An accomplished independent wrestler before she signed with WWE, Deeb was fast-tracked to the main roster in January 2010 as a member of CM Punk's Straight Edge Society group. As Punk was scouring the crowd for his latest disciple, he discovered Serena, whom he invited in the ring for a mandatory shave. And that was it. Serena didn't really do much else in the company before her release that September. The reasoning behind her exit is also hilarious, as she was seen by fans drinking in a bar, which went against the group's anti-alcohol stance. It just goes to show that not all WWE debutantes are given an equal opportunity, because while she was getting her head shaved on her first night, another planted fan was winning the Intercontinental Championship.
I remember that. Who remember Santino winning the Intercontinental Championship he was just a fan. He was just supposedly a fan, and he won the IC Championship. Who remembers that? I definitely do. This was actually a pretty fun moment.
As number 4, the Milan Miracle. But the most famous example of a planted fan turning into a fully fledged WWE superstar is Santino Marella capturing the Intercontinental Championship on his first night on the job. Marella was plucked out of the audience by Mr. McMahon as a contender for the title, held out by the time at Umaga, when Monday Night Raw emanated from Milan, Italy on April 16, 2007. However, like any other time a fan has been forced into a match, he was a fully trained wrestler. He'd been training in Ohio Valley Wrestling, WWE's then developmental territory, for the previous 2 years. Unsurprisingly, the match was little more than an Umaga squash until Bobby Lashley interfered, toppling the Samoan bulldozer and allowing Santino Marella to make history in his supposed homeland. Real name Anthony Corelli, Santino is actually Canadian, though he can speak some Italian, which was enough to convince Mr. McMahon that he was the right man for the spot. He explained as such on the Developmentally Speaking podcast, saying,
So, Vince had an idea for someone to debut in Italy, and he asked somebody to look at the developmental roster and see if we have any Italian people there. So my shoot name, of course, Anthony Corelli. Corelli is Italian, and they called me and they asked me if I could speak Italian, and I could speak a little. I could say a few things. I wasn't fluent by any means, but fake it till you make it. Like the next day, I flew to Italy.
Number 3, the loose cannon.
Think about that, bro. Just off of a Vince McMahon idea, which actually wasn't bad. Like, I know we give Vince McMahon his fair share of criticism, but not everything that he came up with was bad. That was actually a moment that a lot of fans didn't expect, and it was a fun, wholesome moment. Did Santino Marella turn out to be this legendary wrestler? No, but he had some iconic, funny moments that, people do appreciate about Santino. So,
goes off. Brian Pillman notoriously put a ton of effort into the development of his loose cannon character, and that even extended to him assaulting planted fans on multiple occasions in both ECW and the WWF. The first recorded instance occurred when Brian returned to Paul Heyman's Land of the Extreme at SummerSlam 96. Interviewed by The Ring by Joey Styles, the former WCW star viscerally insulted Eric Bischoff and the ECW audience that he claimed was full of smart marks. And as he was being escorted out of the building, he dragged a fan out of the crowd and sliced him with a fork. The second time was during a taping for WWF Shotgun Saturday Night in the summer of 97, it saw Pillman brandish a pencil as a weapon of choice, as once again he dragged out a fan of the front row while providing commentary. Regardless of whether or not they were real fans or paid actors, both should be thankful that the loose cannon didn't recreate his iconic Pillman's got a gun angle. Number 2, SummerSlam 2011's Famous Faces. Now, as we discussed in the intro of the video, WWE will sometimes hire external actors and wrestlers to sit in specific areas of the crowd to guarantee over-the-top reactions when a match ends up in the audience. And at SummerSlam 2011, 2 of those faces were very familiar indeed. Joey Ryan and Shawn Ricker, the future LA Knight, were both captured on camera providing their lively reactions when Mark Henry power-slammed Sheamus through the barricade. Their reactions have been since described as Home Alone-like, with Ricker's especially helping elevate the gravitas of the spot, given that he was seated directly next to the broken section of the barricade. Their involvement as extras, as is still the case to this day, resulted in both being offered a tryout with WWE. They were both unsuccessful, though Ricker later returned to WWE for 2 stints, first as Slate Randall in 2013, and subsequently as LA Knight, a name he remains under today. And number 1, Green Shirt Guy. Throughout the history of WWE, there's been a handful of fans who have managed to achieve a lick of fame, but there's perhaps none more instantly recognizable than Green Shirt Guy. Having attended nearly every PLE broadcast for the past 15 years, he can typically be seen sitting directly opposite the hog cam, clad in a baseball cap, an iconic green smiley face t-shirt, leaving fans worldwide thinking the same question: is he actually a WWE plant? Well, whilst many have their theories, according to WWE CEO Nick Khan, he's not. The WWE president appeared on Logan Paul's Impulsive podcast in December 2025, where he addressed how Green Shirt Guy still affords the steep ticket prices to attend WWE for as long as he's been. One of the sister companies at WWE and UFC is On Location, which is VIP hospitality and entertainment. So he pays for his seats. He pays a premium for those seats through On Location, and that's why he gets to be in the front row. Despite Khan's claims, the leading conspiracy theories amongst fans are that Green Shirt Guy either has a high-ranking WWE family member on the payroll or he got free tickets for life for being assaulted at a WWE event, with many firmly believing that he was a man accidentally punched by CM Punk during an infamous segment in October 2012. However, that is a completely different guy.
Yeah, that's
but there you
a
have it,
different
folks.
guy,
10 of the most.
And knowing the way TKO operates, they probably get rid of that grandfather rule. Like, yeah, you got slapped 10 years ago, nigga. Pay up. I do believe he has that on location access, and I think they're starting to do that now. Like, I don't know if y'all been seeing those commercials of like WWE on location. Like, you get access to some of those premium seats. So whatever he does for money or a job, he's making some big bread. I'm just being honest with you. So I don't know how much of him is really a plant, more so than he just, got the bread to spend thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to be at these shows. The question is, will he be at Backlash? Most likely he will. But comment down below, let me know some other wrestling related videos y'all want me to check out. I definitely will. Appreciate all love, support. Road to 200K. Now, see you on the next one. Peace.